Ukrainian defenders eliminated 1,410 Russian soldiers over the past day. According to the General Staff, the total losses of the occupying army since the beginning of the full-scale invasion have already exceeded 1,365,000 personnel. Defense forces also continue to systematically destroy enemy equipment. The day before, our defenders struck 50 artillery systems, 4 tanks, 2 armored combat vehicles, and 1 multiple launch rocket system. In addition, Ukrainian fighters have brought down over 1,800 operational tactical level drones, destroyed 9 ground robotic systems, 5 units of special equipment, as well as 384 military vehicles and tankers. And now we have the opportunity to learn about the situation on the Sloviansk front line. We are joined live by the commander of the Strij Unmanned Systems Battalion Company of the 10th Edelweiss Brigade, with the call sign Jack. Greetings to you. Glory to Ukraine.
Greetings. Glory to the heroes.
To start, tell us what you are raising funds for. Dear viewers, you probably already see the QR code and the card number, so please join in. What does your unit need right now?
Well, first of all, it's a fundraising campaign for NRK. This is a ground robotic complex that our military unit urgently requires for the logistical support of our positions and for evacuating the wounded without involving vehicles or people in places where it is extremely challenging for us to get in. That's why the GRC now plays such an important role, and we really need it specifically for our operations.
Dear viewers, don't hesitate. Join in, point your phone cameras, and support our defenders in the Sloviansk area. Tell us, what is the intensity of the fighting in your area and what tactics is the enemy using?
The level of intensity has increased significantly in recent times. Overall, the enemy's tactics remain unchanged. This involves infiltration by small, specialized tactical groups, advancing through dense forest belts and wooded areas, gathering forces and then attempting to maneuver much closer directly to our positions. Of course, we try to detect and destroy them as much as possible, and we continue working tirelessly toward our ultimate victory.
And how much has the situation escalated around Mykolaiivka, the town neighboring Sloviansk? Are you recording any advances of Russian troops there? From the video I saw, the Russians have almost destroyed Mykolaiivka. As I understand it, these are KAB strikes.
Well, look, the intensity around Mykolaiivka has also increased significantly lately. If we're talking about FPV drones, they're operating, as well as strike wings. Aviation, of course, plays a significant role. The use of precision-guided aerial bombs with which they simply and systematically destroy everything in their path. And thanks to this, they try to advance, sever our vital logistical supply routes, and disrupt our logistics. There are no actual enemy advances on this specific section of the front. We are holding our ground, steadfastly maintaining our defensive positions, and effectively destroying the enemy.
Dear viewers, in addition to the QR code, the card number has now appeared. You can now see it right there, at the very bottom of your screen. If this way is more convenient for you, please use these numbers. Donate to the 10th Edelweiss Brigade. They are defending us in a highly difficult direction near Sloviansk, where the Russian military forces are trying to break through. This is their plan for the summer offensive. Their objective is to encircle and infiltrate Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. The 10th Edelweiss Brigade is currently in need of an armored evacuation vehicle. First and foremost, it's for evacuating the wounded. Again, it's a matter of logistics, delivering ammunition and essential food supplies, so that the infantry don't have to walk on foot and risk being hit by FPV drones, which fill the skies over Donbas. They use armored evacuation vehicles, and right now they need your support. When there are many of us, even small contributions help us meet the needs of our defenders. So I urge you not to delay and to start this day with a good deed. QR code, card number, whatever is most convenient for you. Join the fight against the Russian Federation. Tell us, Dmitro Zaporozhets, the spokesperson for the 11th Army Corps, said that the Russians are looking for weak spots to advance at the junctions between units, and he specifically mentioned your brigade. In your sector, the enemy is quite active. What do they use to navigate these and effectively remain completely undetected?
Yes, in our sector, the enemy is indeed active. Their tactics remain unchanged. If we're talking about the daytime, then it's movement, again in small groups, through forest belts and some thickets, attempting to advance and get closer, under the cover, of course, of their heavy artillery. If we're talking about the nighttime, maybe even more movements are happening now, specifically during the night. These are various types of ponchos and also raincoats. And the way they move is like this. Basically, they walk about 100 meters, wait, walk another 100, wait again. When they gather in large numbers, they then attempt to launch a direct assault against our defensive positions.
And in the rear, perhaps your aerial reconnaissance is detecting the buildup of equipment in preparation for mechanized assaults or maybe motorized assaults? Are there such signs?
In the structural area of responsibility, look, we haven't detected any automotive equipment. If we do spot any motor vehicles, we destroy them. In a very literal sense, over the course of just the last 5 days alone, we have managed to destroy approximately 10 different motor vehicles in total. That's why we try to detect and destroy them. In addition to that, their tactical movements and coordinated assault actions using motorized vehicles or standard passenger cars are simply not taking place at the moment.
What does the enemy grouping look like on your section of the front? What kind of units are these? Are they increasing their numbers?
Well, to be honest, let's not speak too specifically about my own units or which exact ones are stationed here. And, of course, there is a noticeable and significant increase primarily in the assault groups, which are the very first to advance forward into the area and approach directly to our defensive positions. This buildup of these groups is happening because we systematically destroy them, we systematically take them out, and yet constantly new groups keep coming in again and again. This is where we see the greatest concentration.
You are an officer in the Unmanned Systems Battalion of the 10th Brigade. For several weeks now, we have been seeing videos on social media posted by units in the Pokrovsk and Kharkiv directions, specifically showing strikes on enemy rear positions at depths of 150 to 200 kilometers and beyond. In particular, the 1st Corps of the National Guard of Ukraine, Azov, is controlling the routes to Crimea and Mariupol with their middle strike drones. The 3rd Corps has announced that they are controlling the Luhansk region with drones. Do you have similar middle strike drones in your arsenal, and how do they affect the enemy's assault activity and their ability to advance?
Well, look, unfortunately, our unit does not have such drones. Of course, these drones have a significant impact on enemy activity because first and foremost, they disrupt their logistics. If their logistics are disrupted, it becomes much harder for them to deliver ammunition, personnel, to carry out their logistics and planning. That's why this is absolutely crucial. We operate exclusively within our own operational depth. We manage everything we possibly can with our own resources.
On both sides of the line of contact, enemy drones and those of the defense forces, including yours, in the Sloviansk direction, what types of drones are most commonly used now? Has anything changed in the tactics of their use, perhaps? What is the ratio? Who has the advantage?
Basically, the usual FPV drones are being used. Drones on fiber optics have started to be used a bit more. Strike wings and, of course, reconnaissance drones. If we're talking specifically about someone's advantage, I can't say that the enemy has the advantage or that we have a significant advantage. Overall, I think the ratio is about equal. Overall, we're more or less on the same level as them.
Regarding the statistics, you already mentioned 10 units of automotive and motorcycle equipment that you have destroyed. Can you elaborate a bit more and tell us what you managed to accomplish over the past week?
Yes, of course. Well, at this current moment, our strikes are focused on detecting and destroying their assault infantry units, since they are moving in and trying to push us out in smaller, coordinated groups. So the main focus remains on locating and effectively neutralizing them. So if we're talking about the past week, that's approximately 40 enemy casualties requiring medical evacuation. That includes both killed and wounded. As I have already mentioned before, there are 10 different motorcycles, various artillery guns, and of course many other types of vehicles. These include those same MPKs, which the enemy is also currently using for their logistics operations, as they are trying to cover this specific area we have created, so they can find ways to move supplies without having to use standard vehicles and so on.
We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. And first of all, Podrobnosti thanks you. And all of us Ukrainians thank you for not getting tired, for defending us, and for holding back the Russian onslaught. I would like to thank every incredible viewer for joining this fundraiser today for the 10th Edelweiss Brigade. And together we have raised an impressive 40,000 hryvnias. We were joined by the commander of the Strich Unmanned Systems Battalion Company of the 10th Edelweiss Brigade with the call sign Jack.